doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. As you know, this is our last session and our last time meeting, and I wanted to start out by finding out if you were able to work on some of the things we discussed the last time, as far as being more stern with your cheerleaders and setting up the schedule for January for basketball, and as well as meeting with your counselor about changing the majors. So let's go ahead and start with the how is everything going with your cheerleaders?
It's pretty good. We went over everything as far as the games, and I've set up a schedule for January and February
Mm-hmm.
and December.
Okay.
So a lot of them are on the weightlifting team,
Mm-hmm.
so it kind of conflicts. But what we did was we made a red team and a gray team.
Okay.
So we split the girls in half. So like the days that the girls have a weightlifting meet, that set goes on like the next game. Like I just kind of made it where everybody, like half the team, could be at a game, and so that's working out so far. Everyone likes it, and it's just better having to deal with six rather than 12 at a game. So
Right.
I'm liking that.
Okay, that's good, and I think that that's a very bright idea. Just because the girls aren't getting overwhelmed, and you're not getting overwhelmed either.
Hmm.
To be able to split them up, and some can go this game, and then the others can go the next game. That was a genius idea, and I commend you for that. I felt like you worked very hard on setting that schedule up and getting it together for them, so that that alleviate your worries and theirs too. Um, so how is it going with you being more stern with the cheerleaders? How do you feel about that?
I think it's going pretty good. Like before, like when we sit down and have make our calendar, we kind of talked about everything
Mhm.
as far as rules that I felt like need to be readdressed, and um, just a few housekeeping things, and like it's going pretty good. And like I even have some of them saying like if they know they didn't do something they're supposed to do or did this wrong, they're like, Jazz, why won't you make us condition for, or why won't you make us do this? Like they know
Mhm.
that they're supposed to get in trouble for stuff I let them get away with. So now I feel like it's just been a learning year for them and me. So it's getting better.
That's good, and I like the fact that they're kind of trying to keep you on track too as well.
Mm-hmm.
And although I know sometimes it's hard to be stern with teenagers, you
Right.
just kind of want to be their friend, but you know that in order to get the job done, that you have to set up some guidelines and some rules and some things for them to follow. So that's awesome that you were able to do that, and it sounds like you might need a little bit more work on it, but I think you'll get
We're
there. I
getting
think you'll
there.
definitely get there. Um, so we also talked about, your goals for school and what you want to do, and the possibility of changing your major to counseling. And in the last session, we discussed the idea of you maybe meeting with a guidance counselor and try to work some things out to see about changing your major. Did you get an opportunity to do so?
No, ma'am, not yet.
Okay.
I this procrastination. I need to go ahead and do it. I'll probably try to do it at least before Thanksgiving break.
Mhm.
So probably like within the next week or so. But no, I haven't talked to a counselor.
So you say procrastination is holding you back from doing so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and although that's something that you want to do, I think it's best to go ahead, like you say, get it done as soon as possible for the holidays, and you'll already have an idea of what you need to plan for January when school starts back.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you still considering, going for that counseling degree?
Yes, I've just been thinking about a lot. I don't really know. Like, I want to go into counseling, but it's just been there's so many things you can do. So I don't know what I want to do. And then I kind of want to go into like being a dental assistant. I think that would be fun. Then I also want to go to cosmetology school. I don't know what I want to do.
So you're kind of all over the place right
Yes.
right now, and I think that that's okay, and you have a little bit more time to think about it, but you definitely want to jump on that and decide what you want to do, before you get too far along in school, and then you kind of have a wasted degree because that's not something that you really
Right.
want to do. So I think that meeting with a counselor, they can definitely help you work through those issues. Your counselor at your school, and they'll be able to tell you, what fits your goals and what you want to do. And there are also different types of assessment tests that are available that you can take to kind of help you kind of zone in on what you want to do and what's going to be beneficial to you in the long run. And are you still working in the guidance counselor area at school?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how has that been going?
It's been pretty good. Lately, like different scores from last year, like FCAT scores, EOC scores have been coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been like getting all that stuff out to the students. And like it's pretty, because like everything is so confidential, like only they can see their score. So like I'm seeing a lot that side of guidance too, like just being like so confidential and private.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And I even had a student ask me, like, sit down with me and ask what they should do to improve their score for this year's test. And I was just telling them different websites that the counselors had told me they could go to study or practice. So I've been liking it.
Okay, and that's good. I'm glad that you got to experience another side of counseling, and like you said, counseling is extremely confidential. What the client and the counselor discusses between the client and the counselor. So that's a great point that you made. And I know we talked about the possibility of guidance counseling, and after your experiences with guidance counseling over the last few months, how do you feel about that career as a guidance counselor, or do you feel like you might go in a different area of counseling?
I mean, I can see myself as a counselor. I think I have the patience for, and I have like, I just would like that. I mean, I could see myself
As a guidance counselor.
as a counselor.
Okay, and I think that with your experiences with your cheerleaders, I think that you're right that you do have the patience, because working with teenagers in general, you have to have patience. You have to be patient with them and be open to listening to what they have to say. And I think that you do have the patience to be a guidance counselor. And although you're unsure about which direction you want to go at this moment, I think that guidance counseling and the experience that you already have, you'll be beneficial to any school in the area. You're welcome. So as far as everything that we've talked about in the past, as far as your procrastination and getting things done, how do you feel you're at? Where do you feel that you're at right now as far as your procrastination issues go?
I mean, I think it's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Besides not going to talk to a counselor yet, but I mean, in other ways, I think it's better. Like I've created the calendars for my cheerleaders, and then I know this is silly, but like another day is my car. I always wait till it gets all the way on E, or I always wait till I really need an oil change, or I'm about to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've been planning better with that. Like I go ahead and fill up my car, or before it gets too low, because I realize it does save money. And then like I've been trying to keep my car checked, so I don't procrastinate as fast anymore.
Well, that's good, and that's good, because when you procrastinate, it flows over to every area of your life. So that's good that you can recognize and see that you have stepped up, you have tried to work on your issues with procrastination. And although you didn't get to meeting with your counselor, I think that that's just a minute point, and that's something that you can still do. But you have come a long way since the first time we started discussing your procrastination issues. Um, so I wanted to talk about the sessions that we have had in the past, and I wanted to find out, um, how do you feel about the counseling that we have had, the sessions that we have had in the past, and what do you think that you've learned from it?
Okay, I think I've learned a little bit about counseling just from watching you.
Mm-hmm.
I've you've given me advice on how not to procrastinate and just different things that I can do to balance my life a little better.
Okay.
And I've learned that talking to a counselor isn't like so bad.
You know, and that's true, and I like that you made that point because before I decided to that I wanted to go into the counseling profession, I thought that I wanted to do more of psychology or a different field. And I've always that counselors they have that stigma where everybody's afraid. Okay, if I go to counseling, something's wrong with me, or people
Right.
going to think that I'm crazy or what have you. And it's not that. And it's like your counselor is almost like your friend because you can vent to them, you can, tell them your problems, and you can let them know how you're feeling, and they can help you work through them. They might not always have the answer, but sometimes just getting out how you feel is it makes you feel better.
Right.
So, I like that's a great point that you made that counseling isn't bad. And, I would advise anybody to see a counselor just because it does help. It does help you get, some issues out and, to be able to bounce ideas around with another person, is great. So that's a great point that you made. Do you feel like, that you're closer to reaching your goals compared to when we first started talking?
Yes, because I mean, just like, I mean, I can think about all this stuff in my head all day, but just to hear myself say it and just having you like support what I say, it just makes it like easier to go and finish what I need to do or do what I need to do.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that, and I'm glad that your view of a counselor has changed. I'm glad to hear that you feel like you're working through your procrastination issues. You're working through your busy schedule, and compared to the last time, life seems to be a little bit easier. You don't
Mm-hmm.
seem as tense or stressed about everything. Would you agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
That's good. So excuse me. So, do you feel like you have grown as a person over these last few months? Do you feel like things have changed since you started, since the session started?
Yes, I think just from talking about all this stuff, like I said, like just hearing it out loud makes me want to do better and do things like do things for myself, and so I think I've grown.
That's good, and I know, just like you said, do things for yourself. I know in the past sessions you were always worried about, what's going on with everybody else, and you had to factor other people into your schedule, and the having a job and the cheerleaders and the babysitting and all that stuff on the weekends. I know that it was kind of difficult to factor everything in, but it sounds like you have matured in that area and you have worked on. Um, Alleviating those procrastination issues and moving forward to overcome procrastination. And I think that I think that you can do it, and I think that it's doable, and I feel like you have come a long way. And I think that moving forward that you will be successful in these areas that we have discussed so far. Um, at this time, I just wanted to ask if you had any other questions or comments.
No, man, I don't think I can.
You don't? Okay. I really, I'm really glad that you took out the time to be able to meet with me and let me get to know you better and let me practice my counseling skills. And it's been very beneficial to me as well, and it's helped me grow and realize that I can do this and it's doable, and I feel a whole lot better as we come up on the end of the session, and excuse me, and I realize that now that I can do it, and you have been a great client and very easy to work with, and I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate you taking time out your schedule, and I appreciate you dealing with the time changes and everything that we had to deal with to get this all done. And again, I really do appreciate that. Um, so as we move forward and come up on the end of our session, I would like for you to continue working with being stern on your cheerleaders, listen to what they're saying, and kind of take their advice and be stern with them so that they know that, they can't get away with everything. And stick to your schedule that you have with them. And most of all, definitely meet with that counselor and get those ideas out to her and let her know what you want to do. And hopefully, she can help you reach your goals as far as education goes. Um, Again, I was glad to work with you, and I'm glad that we were able to work through these issues with procrastination. And I hope that, excuse me, in the future, you have overcome them. And as you know, like I just said at the beginning of the session, this is our last session. And if there's ever anything that you need, you can always reach me, or get with your school counselor, and they can help you as well with different issues. So, is there anything else that you needed to say?
Just wanted to say thank you for counseling me. I really did enjoy it, and I think you're going to be a great counselor.
Thank you, Jazz. I really appreciate that. And again, like there are so many resources available to you. So, like I said, you can always reach out to me, and I can help you if I in any way if I can, or your guidance counselor at your college. So, we're coming up on the end of our session, and I appreciate you taking out your time again. And I hope that you continue to work through your issues with procrastination and overcome everything that you want to overcome to reach all of your goals.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks, Jazz.
No problem.
You have a good day.
Thank you.